Hi, good morning. My name is Zina. I'm an immigrant living in New York. I came to the USA from Bangladesh in 2018 and obtained my citizenship last year. I got my citizenship from my uncle, who was a citizen, and he applied for my mom. And from my mom, I got the citizenship because I was a minor when my uncle applied for me. So I came to the USA and got my green card and lived here for 5.5 years, then applied for my citizenship, and then I got my citizenship. I am going to talk about a little bit about my fear for Islam today, even though I am a Muslim myself. I was born a Muslim, I still remain a Muslim, my husband is Muslim, my whole family is Muslim, almost everyone in my country is Muslim. So, whatever I am going to talk about is not something that is biased or from an outside view, but from the view of somebody who has been through it and is being through it at the moment. So, my practice of Islam is more like Sufism. I believe in the five pillars of Islam, which includes praying, pilgrimage, donations, believing in Allah, believing in His Prophet. I do all of those things. I have tried to become an atheist before when I was young and when I was questioning, and I could not. I could not be an atheist even for a day because the faith that was seeded inside me from birth, I just couldn't let go of it. And then I decided not to fix what isn't broken. My faith helps me and it guides me so I don't do something terrible. I don't smoke, I don't drink. I don't necessarily think those are bad things if you do them in moderation, but I just got used to not doing that. And I don't eat pork. As a matter of fact, I don't eat any meat at all. I'm a vegan, which is against kind of like against Islam. Islam tells you to eat everything that is halal, which is kind of a Jewish form, no, an Islamic form of the Jewish kosher. But I don't eat meat. I don't eat anything that is animal derived. So I am not really an orthodox Muslim, which you can already tell because I don't wear any headgear and my face is exposed and I'm talking, my voice is being heard to people who are who may be men. I don't know if anybody watches my vlog, but as a Muslim woman, I wouldn't ideally be allowed to have my voice heard. Let me move the pot because that is not what a Muslim woman does. To be honest, being an ideal Muslim woman is almost impossible. But I'm not saying it's completely impossible. It is possible. But then you really stop existing as a human being. You just exist as an idea of an Islamic woman. So if you were an ideal Muslim woman, your head to toe would be covered, even the eyes would not be seen by men who are not your first relatives, which means your father or your husband or your son or your brother. Every other man is, I think the word is mahram, which is not legal for you to be seen to. You would not go outside. You would not attend any type of jobs outside the home. You might attend some kind of work if it meant you would be surrounded by women. You would be serving women. Like you could be a gynecologist. But you would have to study in an environment that would only have females in there. So in Bangladesh, we do have medical schools that only comprise of female students and are taught by female teachers. And you would only be serving female patients in the company of female chaperones, nurses. And that's about it. Your husband would be your, I shouldn't say that, but I'm going to tell you the truth. That your husband would be your unofficial master. And after your husband passes away, your son would be the one to guide you. You would not be your own person. You would be respected within your limits. You would be respected in the house as the mother, as the wife, but you would never be considered a functional human being. My country really doesn't depict ideal Islam. My country used to be a part of Pakistan, but there were people who still held the concept of liberalism, and they did not like the Islamic ruling, which is a Sharia law. So they tried to break free, and then uh, we had a freedom war which liberated my country from Pakistan, and Bangladesh was formed in 1971. So it's a very, very naive country. It is very young. Bangladesh is only 13 years older than I am. So imagine that. And after freedom, Bangladesh kind of lost track of what it should do, whether it should go the Sharia way or it should go the liberal way. So the two ideas kind of merged and created a hot mess, which really led to nowhere. So my country is neither Islamic, but it tries to impose Sharia law on people who don't have any concept of law at all. And everybody is now doing everything and anything they want in the name of Islam. So that has kind of created an terrible inequality where ultimately the muscle power has won and men are now dominating women in my country in such a manner that reflects the Middle Ages. A man in my country can beat up a woman, kill a woman in public, and no one will stop him. If a woman gets raped in the street, other men will join the men. A woman cannot get help from any man. Our women are not allowed to play outside. They don't build any physical strength. They are incredibly impaired from getting an education. So their minds are closed off. And those who have the privilege or the opportunity of getting an education, they end up serving men anyway. They get married and they start forgetting who they were because the oppression is so severe in my country that it just takes away one's identity and rips them up and leaves nothing behind. American women can never grasp the concept and the level of oppression that women go through in Islamic countries. American women go to Islamic countries, put on a beautiful scarf on their head where the hair is covered partly and partly it is out in a sexy manner. They walk about with their cameras and they vlog, and everybody is nice and respectful to them because they are most likely Caucasian women with American dollars or American or European immunity. They walk about, start about, vlog about their experience in the Islamic countries, and they don't find any oppression because they just scratch the surface and they don't see anything that goes inside the underbelly. Then they post it on social media, and the rest of the American women who don't go there, they end up thinking, oh, it's not that bad. Women have it good. Islam is nice, so peaceful. It is not. If you go to those Islamic countries, just like dye your skin brown like us, walk around like a native woman, you will find out what it is. A woman, if she walks on the street, sometimes men attack them and they take off all her clothes and assault her in public. This is called Tashur Jamai, which means mob attack on women, so the woman can be civilized, so the woman can be taught a lesson. Google it, you will find it. This happens in the Islamic countries. And then there is no law against domestic rape, even though there has been talk about putting the law in action, but it will never get in action because our leaders are men. Our police are mostly men. The female police force that we have, it is only for show off. they end up serving tea to the men instead of doing the actual work, or they do it in front of the media. But they work hard, they train hard, they do everything hard, but women, the female police force, are never given the equal rights as male police are. It's just every sector of Bangladesh or the Islamic countries is like that. And I don't know how much I can talk about today, because honestly my husband and I share a little attic. So I try to make my vlogs when he's not around, and when he's not around, I'm usually working. So it's very hard for me to vlog. But anyway, going backtracking on that. According to Sharia law, LGBT people are not allowed to exist. Now, one time, a leader in Iran had allowed trans people to change into their desired sex, and he said it was okay. But most of the time, this is not respected. So when a trans girl wants, a trans man, my bad, when a trans man wants to become a man, they don't tell anybody. They just secretly contact a doctor, pay them cash, go through the hormones, get the surgery, and then on next morning they go to the newspaper and tell the newspaper that a miracle has happened. Allah has turned our daughter into a boy. And people take that, people believe that. But if those people went, the trans people, if they told the rest of the community that they took surgery to become a man, they would not be allowed to exist. And when I say they are not being allowed to exist, I don't mean they are getting deported to their native countries. I mean their heads are chopped off. I think YouTube is gonna block that video, but do I care? Am I spending money to post it? No, I'm just taking 15 minutes of my time. But the only solution Islam has towards any opposition is cutting the head off or hacking them to death. Like you see, we got the machete with which we cut the goat and the cow, right? That's what they do to humans. There's no justice against it. If you're a gay man, that's what you're waiting for. If you're a lesbian, you will be married off to a man and raped until you die. If you're a trans person, a trans man, you can have a sex change surgery in secret, declare it as Allah's miracle, and survive. But if you're a trans woman, you are gonna go through what the lesbians are gonna go through. I am not a I am not a big supporter of LGBT activity that goes in the West, because I don't want trans men entering little girls' lockers before they have their surgery. It's my personal opinion. And I don't want trans women to compete in women's athletics, because that is totally unfair. I'm a physician. I know the biological difference that takes place in the first 18 years of life. So that is a different issue. What goes in the West regarding the LGBT people is different from what happens in the Islamic countries. Most of the time, women in the Islamic countries want to become men, not because not because something that is genetically wired in them, but because the torture against women is so severe, the misogyny is so prevalent, that they just want to become a man. And that's what happened to me too. I had 5 sisters and only one brother, not enough sons to protect my parents. So they raised me as a boy. And I grew up thinking that, okay, I want to become a boy. I want to become a boy so I can be properly educated. I want to become a boy so I can play. I want to become a boy so I can take care of my parents when they are old. And I remained as a boy. But my heart always went towards men, because in my heart and soul I'm a woman. I'm a woman who likes freedom, that's all. So when I got into a relationship with my boyfriend, who is then now my husband, it really complicated the situation. But I refrained from taking any hormones or surgeries after I met him, which kind of saved me, because after I came to the USA, I saw how good American woman has it. American women has it good, because American women have it good because they are not in, conflicted and inflicted by Islam like we are. So after I came to the USA, my mind completely changed. I saw the level of freedom women can have, and I stopped thinking about turning into a man and having the surgery anymore. But now I see a lot of liberals in the USA, like liberals in my country. I'm a liberal regarding my country, but I'm a conservative when it comes to the USA because American liberalism has gone too far. It has allowed too many garbage into this country that is gonna turn it into a third world country, and I don't want that. I have escaped third world once. I have escaped Islam once. I don't want this place to become the same as it is back there. I don't want an epic city next to my house where I won't be allowed to walk, I won't be allowed to jog, and I will be criticized for dressing up like this because this is too revealing from Islamic standards. Because you can see the shape, kind of tell the shape. You can tell from my face I'm a woman. You can see from my hair I'm a woman. If you're a woman, men has to know you're a woman from the potato sack that you wear. That's what men want. Islamic men desired that. The potato sack, and they call us sweets, sweets covered in wrapper. That they want to eat a sweet that is completely wrapped. They want to unwrap it and eat it. They don't even see us as humans. I'm just gonna leave it here for now. I have already opened a can of worms, and if any Muslim sees my vlog, I know what repercussions they will put me through. If any of my neighbors sees it, they may chop off my head. Yes, that happens in the USA too. A lot of immigrants who spoke out about what happens with Islam, what Islam does to people, what Islam does to women, those who spoke out, they were hacked to death in the USA, in Germany, and when they went to travel to Bangladesh. If you don't believe me, Google Dr. Humayun Azad. You will find out. I don't remember the other names on top of my head right now because I have to start working, I have to clock in. So, yeah, Islam is not what Americans think it is. American white people, I don't mean to be a racist by saying the word white people, but the Islam you see in the Western world is not the Islam that really prevails in the Islamic world. It is very different. So be aware. Something that has the power to build has the power to destroy. Something that goes against your constitution can destroy what you stand for. Sharia law is not gonna be happy law for you. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna put you through the same misery we have been through. So please be aware. Try to find out what goes in the Islamic world. And I'll see you in my next vlog. Oh my gosh, I'm afraid to upload it. Allah be kind and let me live through any adverse comments or machete attacks that I may face or YouTube bans. I'll talk to you again. Bye.